Procrastination. How to break the habit of putting off. You've done it again. You've put off doing homework. Now you're in trouble. Before we figure out solutions to our problems, it's useful to know why we procrastinate. One explanation is the temporal motivation theory, talked about by Dr. Piers Steele in his book, The Procrastination Equation. This theory says that a person's motivation or desire to complete a task or assignment can be represented by an equation. Dum dum dum. Oh no! Motivation equals expectancy times value divided by impulsiveness times delay. Now, all of human behavior can't be simplified into a little equation, but it can be a useful way of figuring out what our problems are. So let's go ahead and break it down into pieces. Expectancy is a term that represents how strongly you believe that you're able to complete a task. Meaning, the easier you expect it will be, the more motivated you will be to do it. The harder you expect it will be, the less motivated you will be to do it. The value includes the rewards for the task and how pleasant the experience will be. Impulsiveness is how easily you are distracted and get the urge to do other things and do them instead. Ooh, butterfly! The less able you are to resist that sudden desire to go check your text messages or watch YouTube, the more you're going to put off working on that math assignment. If you can resist that urge, you'll actually be strengthening your brain's ability to focus. So be strong and fight the urge, my friend. Finally, there's delay, which is the amount of time between now and when you'll get the reward for completing the task. The longer the delay is, the more you'll tend to procrastinate. This happens because human beings naturally place far more value on the short-term rather than long-term rewards. Even if those long-term rewards are greater, like a trip to the local theme park or getting a diploma. When your success in life depends on studying for tests and remembering to put money in a retirement account, then picking up a cheeseburger for dinner, your brain's hardwired preference for short-term rewards becomes a hindrance. It's the main reason why you consistently find yourself doing 9 history assignments over the weekend to avoid losing your eligibility to be in the school play. Start completing these assignments weeks in advance. But most of your brain is like, I've got plenty of time. The crew just put out a new YouTube video and my girlfriend just gave me a Gotcha Club challenge. And to make matters worse, delay is the hardest factor in the equation to control, since the time at which we'll get a task reward is often impossible to change to a more immediate time. We can't always get what we want immediately. This is especially true when you're in school, since almost everything has a due date. It's useful to simply be able to recognize that the delay between now and when you'll reap a task's reward matters a lot when it comes to your procrastination. The equation makes it easy to figure out why you're procrastinating. If it's because you feel like you're not skilled enough to actually complete the task, then you need to find a way to increase expectancy. Or if you notice that your attention is constantly being pulled in other directions, then it's time to figure out how to decrease your distractions and impulses. Those pesky distractions and impulsive urges are taking away your focus. So now let's talk about some ideas for controlling those 3 most flexible parts of the equation. To raise expectancy, you can do several things. One of the most helpful is to break the task down into smaller subtasks. This is often called slicing the salami, or breaking things down into little baby steps. Doing this allows you to focus on something that's not nearly as scary, such as logging into your computer, pulling up your assignment, reading the directions, gathering materials, and opening web pages or files. Once you've figured out these steps and know what order to tackle them in, you'll have a much clearer vision of what should be done right now. Plus, you'll find that simply reading the directions and gathering materials to start with is much easier than trying to do the whole assignment at once. Another great way to raise expectancy is to simply ask for help. While being able to figure things out on your own is definitely a useful skill, there comes a point when refusing to reach out to someone else only slows you down. So, ask your mom or dad, email your teacher, or call a friend who knows. Now, when it comes to improving a task's value, there are a few things you can do. Improve the actual reward for completing the task. Add additional rewards or mini rewards for completing baby steps. Improve the experience of doing the task itself. To make the experience of doing the work itself more pleasant, you could choose a study location that you enjoy being in. Your bed, under a tree, in a large closet, or inside a tent maybe. Get a little exercise to boost your focus and control your energy. You could do 20 jumping jacks, do stretches, or kick a ball around in the yard. Perhaps you have a favorite Pandora station or a focus music app. In the Journal of Emerging Investigators, a study was done that found that English lyrical music is not helpful to most English-speaking students, compared to silence or just instrumental music. So, Mozart or Target music, anyone? Or how about a good dance track? Grab a snack and a favorite drink. A healthier snack would sustain your energy and concentration better. Try walking around while studying or using speech to text. Now let's talk about the concept of low-density fun versus high-density fun. Students who procrastinate are constantly denying themselves high-density fun. They want to do those high-density fun things, but they know they have a couple of math assignments and an essay to do. The silly thing is, while they are procrastinating on their assignments, they are wasting time on low-density fun, browsing dank memes, dressing their avatar, and surfing YouTube. It's easy to convince yourself that you're only going to do them for 5 minutes, but inevitably you do end up spending a ton of time on them. Why is that? Well, these websites and apps are actually created to be as addictive as possible, but they are just distractions. And if you waste all your time on them, you leave no time for actual high-density fun that can act as a true motivator for finishing your work. Next, we have distraction. Your environment really matters. If you're studying in a place where you have access to distractions, your attention is more likely to be pulled away by them. Dogs barking, siblings watching TV, people having a conversation. You get what I'm saying? So find a study spot away from friends and away from YouTube and video games. Sometimes you might even need to lock your door or hand over your phone for a bit. Studies have shown that crossing things off your list can raise dopamine, the chemical that increases concentration and motivation. And people with ADHD have a difficult time with motivation and just getting started. So, by starting with the easiest first, your brain will receive dopamine. And you'll be more motivated to do more and more harder things, gaining momentum like a growing snowball, until you've built yourself a cute little snowman. Anyway, your body and your brain, which is a part of your body, runs on a cycle of work and rest. There's only so much you can do in a day before you exhaust your mental resources. So give yourself more time. Don't wait until the last minute. One way to use the rest method is the Pomodoro technique, Italian for tomato, like this cute little kitchen timer. Set a timer for 20 minutes to work. When the timer dings, take a 5-minute break, then repeat twice, then take a longer break. Instead of feeling like you need to finish an entire math assignment or that rough draft of your paper, you know you just need to work for 25 minutes. Or you can start with 10 and work up to 25. Taking that longer break of 15 minutes after a few cycles will give your brain the break it needs to regain its fuel to focus again. The outside motivation of the timer will help those who have trouble with self-motivation. So now we've talked about it, but it's time to take those baby steps towards doing the work. You've got this.